Hello and welcome back to the Nerd Theorists. After the absolutely amazing Doctor Who Christmas special, we've had time to sit down, have a discussion about exactly who is Ruby's mum and who is that nosy neighbour, Mrs. Flood. Today, we'd like to share our thoughts with you. So let's start then with Ruby's mum. So who is she? They don't give away much during the special, but as you can see from that shot up there, she seems relatively young. Likes to wear these boots while it is snowing after all, showing a little bit of pasty white legs, and if we were to zoom in on her face, again, does seem very young. So if we kind of combine all those kind of things together, that to me just screams Amy Pond. Don't know about what you think, let us know, but I can't possibly think of who else that possibly could be. But we'll keep that in mind as we kind of move on onto who Mrs. Flood is. So this is Mrs. Flood, the nosy neighbour, who seemingly had a lot of knowledge as a random person on the street. As during the end credits scene, she was quoted as saying, "Never seen a TARDIS before." A little bit odd for a random person, because she said a TARDIS and not the TARDIS. This led us to start thinking immediately of other Time Lords, such as the Master, Rani, or even the Valeyard. Dave thought it was much more likely to be Rani, especially seeing as though we saw the return of Mel working for UNIT during the 60th anniversary specials. And seen as though Mel had previously had run-ins with Rani, as you can see here. But we thought that link was a little bit tenuous. We liked it, but it's a bit of a stretch. But if we start bringing into the idea of time travel into this theory, we go back to Mrs. Flood, and seeing as though her door is in fact the same shade of blue as 15's new TARDIS, then that makes us think the link is probably more likely the TARDIS rather than a TARDIS, especially in a episode all about coincidences. Too much of a coincidence for my liking. So, could this possibly be Ruby? Now, for me, could it be a retired Ruby that has kind of come back and looking after her younger self as she was growing up and her adopted family? All a good idea, especially as you start thinking about, well, if her mum really was Amy Pond, that would make a kind of River her sister, and River changed her name from Pond to River during some differences in language barrier out in space somewhere, cultural differences, that's probably the better way of putting it. So it's always theoretically possible, after Ruby found out that she's in fact a Pond, changed her name to Flood later down the line. Seems a little bit ominous if you change your name to Flood, but the link is there. Pond, River, Flood. It all seems perfectly reasonable to make that kind of link. But then if we are making that link between River in there as well, there we go, we'll bring up River. So could she be River Song? Thinking that if Ruby could have changed her name, why not River changing her name again to Flood? That would make sense that she could, in fact, in her retirement, have travelled back in time to look after her little sister. But then when the TARDIS does show up on her doorstep, pulls out a chair and just watches the entertainment or excitement unfold in front of her. Very much sounds like a Riversong thing. I'd really love to know what you think about that. We like these ideas, but again, they are just ideas. Drop us your thoughts into the comments section below, and we will respond to everything that we can. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will be dropping you lots of new content every single week. So stay tuned, keep in touch, take care.